Hello Star Wars unboxing fans, welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars unboxing show, Shelf Talk. Okay, so today I'm in a different room in the Star Wars collection, and I wanted to point out one shelf and maybe one piece on top of a shelf. And that is, first of all I want to talk a little bit about the shelving system we have here. I have several of these are glass shelves. They are about, I would say, 5 feet in height. Okay, and they are completely made of glass except for the bottom and the top, which are wooden or wood-like bases and tops. And there's ability for you to put in hardwired lighting into them, or you can do like I did and just get some battery-operated sticky lights that you can just activate. I have one that you can get at like a big box retailer like Costco that you can get a little remote with, and that's kind of what I do. I turn them on and off. Now I'm going to set it at a low percentage there so it's a little bit easier to see. Alright, these things are awesome and they are available in IKEA. And IKEA, you have to build it yourself, but it's fairly simple. The most tricky part about it is just getting it from IKEA to your home because it is glass and you got to be careful with it. But once you get it out and read all the instructions, essentially it comes with an Allen wrench that does about 80% of the putting together, and then you just need a Phillips head screwdriver for the rest. It's pretty straightforward and it works really well. And the cost has stood for the last at least 10 years to about $60, which when you think about displays and how much display cases cost, these are extremely expensive. So this runs pretty cheap in the long run. So it's definitely something you can use to kind of enhance your display. And it comes with 4 glass shelves, or 3 glass shelves in the base shelf. And then you can put things that are, fill it up any way you want. You can, it's relatively high, as you can see. It's got some pretty tall figures in there, which I'll go over in a little bit. And you can use the top of it for something. It's just really versatile, and you can line them all up next to each other. You can put them out, separately, or depending on your space. Really good, very inexpensive, great startup way to do it. Has an opening, which I'll show you, and everything. So I highly recommend it. IKEA, you can order them, but if you can get to an IKEA, it's better, it's cheaper. Ordering them is usually a $30, I think it's something like $30, so you're paying like 50% of the cost of it to ship it. So if you can at all possibly get to an IKEA, unless you have some type of free shipping coupon, then I would recommend doing that. So enough talk about the shelf. Let's talk about what I have here. All right, so we have a little bit of old and a little bit of newer. Let's talk a little bit about the newer first, because I really don't want to move this because it's extremely heavy. What we have up top here is a diorama base that Sideshow sold to go along with its Sideshow Luke and Sideshow Yoda figures. And it's basically Yoda's little hut from Dagobah. I'll get a little close up there. Okay, and you can see that you have a couple little accessories. Looks like somebody knocked over his bowl. You have a couple of little things you can use. You have Luke, and I got him kind of squatted down there, and that's the Bespin Luke. And then you have Yoda, of course. So it's a nice little display arena. You can actually turn it around the other way if you'd like. I think this also comes with. This is a little thing you can do, and you can put R2 on top here if you have an R2. I think that it might light up, but I don't want to do that right now because a lot of this stuff is battery powered, and as I said, I've been a little bit hesitant to, do a lot with the battery powered. I've said in previous episodes, battery powered things from Sideshow, sometimes they work, sometimes not so much. So you got to be careful with that. Okay. Now, let's talk about what's underneath here in the top shelf. Okay, with our top shelf here, I am very excited. I'm going to bring this around so you can see it a little better. I am very excited to show you the original Kenner 12-inch line of figures. Came out in 78, I think a little bit in 79 and 80, around that time. It was not a popular item back in the day. I think that, if it's an estimate, a guess here on my part, but I think that because Hasbro ended up having, or rather Kenner at the time, ended up having such a success on their hands with the 3 3/4 inch line. That was the first time, really, that any company had utilized figures that small. And with that, they could utilize things like vehicles and small accessories and all this other stuff that made it so much more playable for young boys and girls. So when they tried to continue the line with the 12-inch, like G.I. Joe had been around, Barbie had been around, they thought they could have some success with this, and it wasn't as popular. Okay, but nonetheless, these have fetched a pretty high price, mint in the box, on the secondary market. These guys that are kind of a combination of figures that I have collected when either I had when I was younger, or that I kind of found in yard sales or in toy shows and things of that nature. Okay, so we'll go through each one. We're going to start with this one. I'm going to start with R2. I like, the R2 setup here. It's pretty cool. He had a little, for 1978-9, he had pretty good, playable feature. The really cool feature with this one was, and I don't know if it'll open right now. It's probably not going to open on me, but, or maybe I glued it. Oh, come on, R2. You're not performing, R2. He's developed a slight flutter. Anyway, all right, I'll try to get it. I'm gonna have to pry it. Oh, no, there it is. Good. Opens it up, and he's got these nifty little kind of data cartridges. Okay, that you can slide in like that. Okay, so pretty cool. A neat little play feature. It doesn't come with a third leg, it just stands like this the time, okay? But a really nice figure nonetheless. Okay, moving on, we do have, and I will explain one little thing that happens here, we do have a Stormtrooper. This is a complete Stormtrooper, even though it looks like it might be Luke is dressed as a Stormtrooper with a prematurely lost hand, but his hand is here. Unfortunately, his hand has fallen out. The glue or whatever is used to keep the hand in place, it starts to, look, these are toys made with very cheap plastic. They're not meant to last forever. So collectors, you will find that unless you keep something in an airtight room, like a clean room, airtight room of some sort, your figures are going to start to degrade. You can do some things to help. There are whole sorts of videos, places like Toy Polloi online, as well as Retro Blasting. These guys do lots of videos about how to bring your figures, to do some restoration on your figures. Of course, doing that does decrease the value of them, but there are ways that you can do this just to kind of give it back a little more pristine look. I mean, this one, if you look closely, you can see some yellowing on it, especially in the back there. Okay, you can see, right around the screws are a little rusted. Okay, so it's been played with. It does still include his weapon, so it is complete. And I think this is one of my original. I think R2 was found later on, but I think I had 3 original ones. So the Stormtrooper is one of them. So yay, Stormtrooper. Okay. Now I made mention in a previous episode about Leia. This is not a complete Leia by any means. It's missing. I don't think it has a weapon. It doesn't have shoes. And I think it came with a comb or something of that nature. This Leia doesn't have that. This is just Leia with the body. And you can see, as I mentioned, like when you try with any kind of action figure like a doll that has, playable hair, if you touch it and move it in any way and don't care for it, it eventually, well, what happens when you don't care for your own hair? It goes crazy. So that's basically what happened. But it's generally pretty good. And, I just like to have it as part of that collection. So, yay, Leia. I am in the process of looking for either reproduction of those weapons that they came with. I don't really need the original. I'm not trying to sell them or pawn them off as originals. These are, very older figures. Speaking of which, we've got Chewbacca here, and I'm gonna call this the Chewbacca from the Chewbacca that fought Han Solo in the pits in that base, because he's naked. He has no bandolier. So that's what I'm calling him. He does come with his bowcaster, and you'll also notice another little wear and tear item is his arms. These arms, I guess they're held together by some type of a rope or some type of string that keeps them together, and it's starting to loosen up, so the arms do not stay up. So again, it's good for display. I am trying to find the bandolier so that I can have it happen. It is a great figure, though. I like it. I like the likeness of Chewbacca. It's funny how when you look at the original 3 3/4 inch, these figures tend to be very similar versions, but obviously a little more detailed because they are 12 inch, because they had the technology to do that at the time. So while you can't have Chewbacca without his pilot, Mr. Han Solo. Again, a very incomplete figure. Doesn't even have his medal, I'm sorry to say. But he does have his holster and his boots. He's missing his weapon too. But overall, you know, a pretty good figure. It's funny, you know, they use the same figure or a very similar one when they made an Indiana Jones 12-inch figure, but not 100%. It does have a little difference to it. So that's kind of cool. But again, it's just cool to have them on there and have them on display. So yay for Han Solo. All right, let's move on with Luke here, okay? Luke is among the most complete figures that I have. He comes with his grappling hook, right? And I'm gonna just kind of hook that on here. Love the grappling hook. And he also comes with his lightsaber. Now, the funny thing about the lightsaber, now let's go on. There have been many, many, many people talking about this. Look at the color. It is yellow. Why is it yellow? Probably because when you look at original versions of the movie, if you have old VHS tapes from the early 80s, or if you've seen it in the theater, it looks, the untouched version looks yellow. But the other odd thing about this is if you look closely, look at the handle. It's kind of like a little, almost like a slot, right? Well, his hand, he doesn't have a grip on his hand. It's just a flat hand. So what does he do? He just kind of slide it in. And there he goes. There he's holding his lightsaber. So it actually works pretty well. I mean, for the purposes of it. So, yay, Luke. Oh, his belt just came off. Why are you losing your belt? He's losing everything. As I said, these figures are played with figures. They are not meant to last forever. I know we want them to, okay, but they're not going to last forever. You have to care for them a little more. So, you know, we try that. Let's move on. We have a Jawa. I think that one is that. Yeah. Okay, we have our Jawa, which comes with the most interesting kind of gun. It's kind of like I think this is the Jawa gun, if I'm not mistaken. Although I don't see IG-88's gun. I thought IG-88 is the one that came with the gun. So that I might have my guns. This might actually be IG-88's gun. I'm not sure. All right, so I'll give it to IG-88 for now. So here's a Jawa. Mostly complete aside from the gun. He's got his bandolier strap. He's got his hood. All right, so he's kind of got a double hood, which I thought was interesting. Okay, but you know, pretty good figure. Now the one thing that I will say, you know, when I mentioned when I was reviewing figures like this, hang on, some of the newer ones, the new 12-inch figures like these, I want to point out a little comparison between these and the old ones. Okay, here's Poe Dameron. Okay, here's Han Solo. First of all, if you look closely, you'll see that Poe is a slightly smaller figure all around. Okay, so that's one thing. But the other thing you notice is that this guy's got cloth goods. He's got kind of rubber-esque boots and cloth pants, cloth vest, cloth shirt. This all molded plastic. Okay, and that's okay. I mean, this is, you know, this figure was $10. $10 in today's money. That figure, those figures were $10 in 1979 money. So you got to cut costs somewhere. All right, so moving on. What else we got here? Well, we already had R2, so let's talk about C-3PO. C-3PO scares me to move him because, you know, I'm always afraid that the arms are going to come right off. Okay, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I might have found this, believe it or not. I was vacationing with my family in St. Croix. I was a little kid. I mean, it was past the time of Star Wars. Star Wars had come and gone, and now things were like about, you know, Transformers, G.I. Joe, little figures, you know, He-Man, that kind of thing. So I was kind of growing out of toys, but I went into a little tiny toy store in St. Croix in Christiansted, the town of Christiansted. And there was a little tiny toy store, and sitting there up in the top in a damaged box was C-3PO. So I picked it up, and, you know, I took it out of the box because the box was destroyed anyway. And I'm glad I did, because I heard later that toy store was forcibly closed due to a hurricane. So I'm glad I was able to rescue this guy. But hopefully, you know, I hope that everybody there was okay. And it was, you know, it's kind of fun to tell the stories of where each thing comes from. A lot of these, I said right now, so far only the Stormtrooper, C-3PO from St. Croix. The Stormtrooper is the only one that I had originally. Okay, and IG-88 is another one that I had originally. Okay, And for the moment, I'm going to just say that this might be the Jawas, but I'm going to call it IG-88 for the moment. I love IG-88 because he comes not only with the little grenade belt, but he comes with little grenades that kind of come out. Now I'm missing one. You can see I got 1, 2, 3, but not the fourth one. But still, I've always loved this droid. My brother and I used to call this, his name was IG-88. We used to call him Lynn Swan because Lynn Swan, I think he played football for the Steelers, and he was number 88. So, you know, it shows you how old I am, okay? But interestingly enough, this was an Empire Strikes Back figure, and it came out, I think, before Empire Strikes Back, or just as it was coming out. But they didn't complete any other Empire Strikes Back other than one more, which I'll get to. And that is this gentleman right here, Boba Fett. I gotta get him set up though. He's in pieces, man. This guy. Oof. All right, let's see. All right, he's got his. All right, he's got that, and he's got his little rocket launcher. Now, this rocket launcher used to come with a string that was attached to the inside of this. You'd run the string through and then tie a little knot. It can be very easy to replace, but for display purposes, it works. It also has, I don't know if you can see this. I'll try to put it, where is my camera here? Okay, let me see if I can do this. All right, see that? It's got that little hole. I don't know, see, I won't. Yeah, I can't get it, you can't see it. But this is a little viewfinder. So you can peek through this, and then you get this like kind of telescoping lens. And it actually is a throwback from the $6 Million Man figure, which Kenner also produced. He also comes with a cape, or a half cape, which at the moment is falling apart because the elasticity on it has gotten way too loose. But again, so these are the kind of things that maybe over the course of years I might look for reproductions, or maybe even, you know, replacement figures if I can find it. But oops, that's why. But a fun figure. Again, came out, I believe, before the movie did, so there was a great deal of speculation about it. So, you know, it was a cool costume and everything, so, you know, obviously he didn't really do much, but still, he's gained so much of a following that there's talk of a Boba Fett film, which, you know what, I'll see it. You know, people are like, oh, we don't need to see films like that. We don't. And I'm like, what? It's a Star Wars film. You go see it. You don't go see it. That's why I'm still flabbergasted about Solo. It was such a good movie. If you haven't seen it yet, it's the summertime. If you got some time, go see that movie. You will not regret it. All right? Don't listen to any other reviews. Just go and see it and judge it for yourself. Because most people who go see it and just kind of go in with a fresh, you just say, I don't need to know anything. I just want to go and enjoy a movie. You just need to know a little bit about Han Solo. He's a character from Star Wars. He has a first mate, Chewbacca. Boom. That's all you need. You have everything else. You know, there's lots of Easter eggs if you know a lot. But if not, it's just a fun ride. It's a fun movie. Go see it. It'll be a lot of fun. All right. And we got Obi-Wan Kenobi. I can't remember if he came with a belt or not. I think he did, but he does have his lightsaber. Okay. Same idea. A little grip. Okay. And he's a good-looking figure. He's a good, you know, good setup. All right, but it comes with this like bottom robe, top robe, or bottom tunic, top robe. So really good. And second to last, we also have Vader, Darth Vader, the Dark Lord of the Sith. Love this figure. I remember finding this figure in a garage sale with the cape. I was so excited. In fact, Boba Fett and IG-88 and Stormtrooper, those are my original three. C-3PO I found a little bit later. The rest of them I found in a garage sale, except for Luke. A friend of mine had Luke, and I bought it from him. But Vader, I just love this figure. I just thought it was so cool. I'm sorry it doesn't come with the lightsaber. I've been looking for the red lightsaber. Haven't found it yet, but it'll happen eventually. I'll get it. It will be mine. Even a repro. Anybody knows anything, leave a comment about where I can even get a reproduction lightsaber. Not for little ones. I need one for the 12-inch. The original 12-inch. But he's holding together pretty well. He's got his cape. I don't know if this is the original cape. I have to look. It might be, but I have to see. It's a little short. Well, not too short. It's only Maybe might have just shrunk over the years. Now I did include one more figure in the lot, or in the group here, and that is Yoda. Now, this is not a Yoda figure per se. This is more of a Yoda, well, let's just say, if you look underneath, you'll see it's kind of hard to make out, but let me see if I can do this. Hang on a second, I'm going to tilt the camera down so you can see. Oh, going the wrong way here. See what that is? It is a magic 8-ball. Difficult to tell. Certain I am. Difficult to tell. Yeah, so this was actually not as common of an item to find. It obviously came out in the Empire Strikes Back days. They did not release any Yoda material until after Empire Strikes Back came out. And then this was one of the, little play feature items. But it wasn't something that was part of the original, 12-inch line. But it does fit in ratio. It does fit in terms of the size. So I decided to go with it. And you know what? Early on, I had a thought. I had this very crazy thought that, you know what I want to do? I want to buy more of the Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and Han Solo figures. I want to find people online or maybe customize costumes myself and put them in their Empire and their Jedi costumes. Wouldn't that be awesome? And then they came out with all these other figures in the 90s, the collector series, which I've shown you in previous videos, and they're fantastic. So, my creative idea just kind of took a dive. But hey, you know what? Other people are creative like that and have still done it and have done other things, and that's awesome. So I encourage it. All right, so as you can see, the shelf is now empty. So that'll do it for this episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show Shelf Talk Edition. And as you can see, this is only one, and there are 1, 2, 3 more shelves on this one, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, quite a few other units to go. So there'll be a lot of shelf talk in future episodes. I hope you enjoy them. And again, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification button. I've gotten a couple of new subscribers this week. That's awesome. Keep those new people, spread the word to other people. Let people know about it. If you're going to a Comic-Con, let people know about it at a Comic-Con. Let people know that this channel exists. I don't do a lot of advertising. There's a zero budget on this, okay? So, but I'd like people to know what I'm doing, because I've seen a lot of other channels on there about toy reviews and unboxings, and I think I've had a lot of good positive feedback about this one, so let people know. There will be some actual new unboxings. I have another item coming in the mail that I should be getting in 2 days, so a new episode should be coming with that very shortly. As I mentioned, there is a Disney trip upcoming that we will be doing a walkthrough video for that too. So, thank you so much for watching. Check me out on Facebook, Darth Tuba's Unboxing page, Star Wars Unboxing page on Facebook. Follow me Instagram and Twitter at Darth Tuba, or leave me a voicemail. I'm sorry, voicemail. Don't leave me a voicemail. Leave me an email at darthtuba77@gmail.com, or just leave a comment on this video or any video. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.